everybody, I'm Sunshine Flying, you can call me Tia, and today we are doing another apartment renovation. So I am sticking with the same district in San Myshuno for right now. We are over in Hakim house now. And so on the one hand, I love how colorful this apartment is. But on the flip side, I really wanted to do a renovation of pretty much every apartment in San Myshuno. So here we are. I do end up changing a lot about the floor plan in this one. I know in some renovations, I just leave the floor plans as they are. But in this one, I decided to mix it up a little. I really wanted to make sure that if any room did not have a window, it would be like the bathroom. And I really just wanted to play more around with colors, floor plans, different kind of design styles, things like that. So here I'm just kind of working on getting everything sorted out. You see my classic white walls everywhere for now. Putting down some hardwood floor, some tile in the bathrooms, so you can kind of see what each room is meant to be. And just kind of scattering some lights around too so we can see as we get going in this. So I do end up creating some walls and stuff where they used to be to kind of divide off the kitchen from the rest of the living space. And then just start by laying down some doors. So I really wanted to try to make this make this apartment fit the family that was in it before. And when I went in to do screenshots and stuff, I used that same family. I don't even think I evicted them to do this build, which sometimes I do that. But I did not for this particular one. So definitely tried to stick with that lighter colored theme that I really like to do. And just kind of slotting in a study space here. I believe I put a desk or a computer there. So this is more of like the family space. If the kid is going to do some homework, they'll either do it in their room or in the kitchen. And I really wanted, even though I stuck with light colored flooring and the light colored walls, I really tried to add a bunch of splashes of color throughout the apartment with things like furniture and stuff on the walls. And I'm pretty happy with how it all turned out, and I think it's a nice kind of accent. The splashes of color with the wood tones and the white and the light flooring. So just kind of going through some of the wall decorations, seeing if there's any that I haven't used yet that I maybe would want to, and putting down a rug under the desk as well before moving along into the next room, which is going to be the master bedroom. And so again, I went with a little more neutral colors. Really wanted to just make the place feel bigger than it was, and then add splashes of color with the decoration instead of the wall paint, because I don't know about you and where you live, but very few apartments that I've seen actually have color on the walls. A lot of the time, if you want color in your apartment, you have to add it through your decorations. Landlords won't really let you paint the walls. If they do, you are lucky and you have a really awesome landlord. But by and large, the walls are neutral colored, and then you add your accents with your sheets, your curtains, things like that. So here I've got those curtains that actually accent the throw pillows on this bed really well. So I decided to stick with that. I am kind of leaning towards a more like boho look, which I would say definitely is the same look that the people who lived here had pre-renovation. So really tried to keep in with that theme while making it seem a little bit more realistic in terms of what the walls would actually look like and what the space would look like. So yeah, just kind of adding in the bed here. I want to put a dresser in there. So I used quite a few things from the Snowy Escape pack. I really love those bedside tables and that closet. And then putting in, I believe I put in some chairs over by the windows, so there's a nice little seating space, nice and cozy. But of course, putting down a rug as well. Just some green, yellow earth tones in this room, and some comfy seating for a little bit of privacy if they want or need, along with that side table, which I almost always size down because it is huge, like unnecessarily huge. Like, I don't even mind having to alt place the decorations to kind of work around that because it is just way too big on its own. So just kind of alt placing those succulents, getting a lamp in the corner, and then I think I'm pretty much done with this room, aside from maybe some artwork on the wall. So it is a lot more neutral, a lot less cluttered, but I really wanted to kind of roll with this more realistic kind of color scheme for an apartment. The bathroom isn't really anything fancy. A lot of times apartment bathrooms are not. But I did try to spruce it up a little by having a bathtub and a shower, and then a sink with a countertop, so you do have some storage space in there. And I believe everything in here is fully functional. I have not tested it, but I'm pretty sure it all works. And used a lot of Parenthood stuff as well in this build. I love the Parenthood pack. I think the mirror is nice. I think the countertops are nice, though I don't remember if I actually used the countertop from it or not. But yeah, just put in a whole bunch of clutter on the counter there, a little bit of a plant. And I think that's about all we put in here, other than like towel on the wall and maybe a picture. Oh, I do put like grass on the wall. I wanted to put that flower, that long flower bed, but the shadow on the wall was just too much. But I did find like a wall mounted kind of grass thing that I ended up going with. And I really just like the idea of having like some kind of greenery in the bathroom as like a way to spruce it up a little. And I think it's a good spot for like, it's moist in there. Sorry, I know a lot of people hate that word, but it's true. And a good environment for plants. And I thought I put a plant in there, but maybe I was wrong, or maybe that's the other bathroom that I'm thinking of. Here in the child's bedroom, I used the bunk bed. I flipping love the bunk bed, and I did put another bunk underneath, making an L shape. A different style of bed. I think, having those slide out drawers on the bottom level makes a lot of sense. And then I really just kind of made this a slightly messy teen or child room. I don't know about you, but I know a ton of kids around that age who are just total slobs. So I did have some stuff strewn about all over the floor, and just tried to make it a little bit more realistic. Aside from that, I made like a whole armoire out of this university shelving stuff, which I was actually pretty happy with how it all pieced together. I couldn't get something on that shelf in the middle. I think I try, maybe here, but maybe in another spot. But I just couldn't get that to work, and so I ended up just giving up on it. But just put a few different things in here for skill building as well. Some things to get their empathy up, to get their, music skill up, whatever. And then I did put in, I believe, just one desk, so they do have a spot to sit and do their homework. So there are 2 separate spots for that. Then just adding a little bit more to the walls here to liven it up just a tiny bit. But otherwise, we're just gonna be done with it, I think. I do flip-flop the toy box and Blarfy. But otherwise, it's just a nice, neat kids' room. I think I throw down a rug and then call it a day. But I am pretty happy with how that turned out as well. Nice and colorful and bright for the children. I think the family that was living here already only had 1 child, but I made it for 2 just in case, or if they had a sleepover. Yeah, here I tried to put stuff on the shelf there and it just wasn't working. So I just gave up and left it blank, left it plain. I didn't really want to mess with it too much if it wasn't going to do what I wanted it to do. So just moved on to the next bathroom. So it was not in here that I put the plant since I did use that shower. I tend to use that shower in bathrooms where there will be kids using it. I think it makes a lot more sense. And it does just feel a little bit more childlike. So I do tend to use it in bathrooms that kids will use. Just adding a little bit of greenery like I always do in bathrooms, and the toothbrush thing, and kind of trying to squeeze in all the countertops that I wanted to use without it clipping too badly. Yeah, I just had some fun adding splashes of color in here with the towels as well. And then moving on to this entryway space and the kitchen and the living room and just the whole main living and entertaining area. So I did really like this window hanging, and I wanted to use it, but it barely covered part of that window at all. So I decided to stack them one on top of the other. And I like how it turned out, actually. I know it's pretty impractical for keeping out sunlight in general, but I think it works. And then I used this Island Living countertop as well, which I don't often use, but I really loved this swatch, so I decided to stick with it. And then I also thought this kitchen would be fairly interesting too, having the oven on that half wall area. And that's not something I usually do. I tend to try to have those against the wall and then just have a fire alarm right above it. But I decided to try something different. I did that a lot in this apartment, and I've been trying to do it a lot more in all of my speed builds. I don't know if you've picked up on that yet or not, but it's definitely something I've been trying to do a lot more of. Try to make my builds more interesting, try to grow as a builder. And so if you have any ideas or suggestions or things that you do or started to do as you were building in The Sims, I would love to hear all about it in the comments. Please tell me all of your handy tips and tricks, or if you've got videos, let me know about those, because I would love to check those out. I'm always big into learning more about The Sims than I already do. Always want to grow as a builder. So here I was trying to use that little rubber rug and put it underneath the that dishes drying rack, because that's something that's pretty common around here, at least with like my family and like my household, is you can get a little like mat to go under your drying dishes so it drips on that instead of on the countertop. I tried to replicate that with a rug, but for some reason it just would not work. And I was just having so much trouble trying to figure that out. And eventually, as you can see, I just gave up. But that's something that I kind of wish we had or could replicate in some way, because I think it's really important to have that. I mean, I guess it's not necessarily important, but it's nice to have replicas of what you have in real life. The more realistic a build is, the more I tend to love it. So I kind of wish we could do that, but oh well. Here I've moved on to the living space. I really love those curtains as well from Island Living. I wish I could use them in pretty much everything, but they don't always fit the vibe. I did want to add a fireplace in here as well, and I think it stays. Every once in a while I put in a fireplace and then change my mind and put in like a bookshelf at the very last minute, so who knows what I ended up doing. But I also wanted these shelves from the Moschino pack in there, and luckily everything fit along that wall really, really nicely. So I stuck with that, and now we're just kind of putting in some other clutter. The radio on that really cool table that we got from Snowy Escape, and just adding in some furniture as well. And one of the things that I did in this build, and I find myself tempted to do a lot these days, is if the living room is more square like this, sometimes I end up putting a couch like in the middle of the room and then having space behind it and not really knowing what to do with it. And so in this build, I was actually really happy with how it turned out. I ended up putting a play area behind there. So I put a dollhouse and I think a bookshelf and a kid's chair back there. We'll see it in just a minute, but then I liked how that kind of gave a little bit more space where like the kids could have a space to hang out and play, and still be near mom and dad, maybe paying attention to the TV kind of casually, but not totally, stuff like that. And then I just added a little bit more clutter to the coffee table as well, some magazines and some mail. So, but yeah, I put a whole dollhouse in there for them to play with and a bookshelf, and I believe I put in a chair here as well. So kids have a space to hang out near mom and dad, near the kitchen, without being in the way of the TV, which is something that my family always kind of wished they could do, but we were in too small of a house, and so often the kids were playing between mom and dad, who were sitting on the couch, and then the TV. So just throwing in some final touches here with a table and chairs on a rug for a dining room. And then here in this main entryway, I believe I just kind of put some coat racks up, some shoe racks up, just made it a little entryway. The umbrella holder and the coat rack as well, and that rug at the front door. So I did squeeze an easel in there as well. Tried to get a little bit more skill building stuff in here as best I could. And yeah, we're gonna switch to some screenshots now. Let me know what you think of this build. Again, this renovation series will be ongoing on Wednesdays. I'm going to start with everything in San Myshuno and go on from there to other worlds. If you have requests for what I should do next, please let me know in the comments down below, and I will add them to my list and get to them as soon as I can. Thank you all for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye-bye.